Hello? I'm going to have lecture. Now, when I finish, I will call you. But you are at home now, Abi? Okay. Rest when you finish. Go and eat. Have you eaten? Okay, you eat. When I finish my lecture, I'll call you so I can talk to Bobo that time and Junior. Bye-bye.
Welcome, sir. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. We can start the class now. I've been able to stream on YouTube.
You said 3 o'clock. Now, is it 3?
Oh, yeah, it's remaining 3 minutes, sir.
So, do we start 2:57 or we start 3 o'clock? Whichever one you want, let me know. We start now. Can we start now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, I'll just put this slide so that we can talk. Can you see slide? Hello?
It's still coming up, sir. It's still coming up.
Yes, sir. Just good things. Please, sir.
Yeah, we can now see it clearly.
You can see it, sir.
Yes, you
Okay.
can see, sir.
Okay. So, good afternoon, all.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir. We'll be looking at another topic today. After this, the next one will be ratio analysis. Ratio. So we'll be talking about another interesting topic, which is introduction to working capital. For every business, even we as individuals, what keeps us going is liquidity, cash. If you want to be friends with anybody, you must have money. If you enter a bike, you must have money. Enter a motor vehicle, you must have money to pay. Otherwise, what was initially friendship and relationship can become bad, can turn soft. So that is why cash is very important. This is with a company. Now, from the company point of view, for a company to be operating and surviving on day-to-day basis, you need a working capital. That's why even sometimes see company coming to the bank to say they want to borrow money. They borrow money based on working capital. What is keep them going is the liquidity that keep them afloat. So let's look at definition of working capital. Working capital is simply current asset minus current liabilities. Current asset minus current liabilities. So what are current assets? Assets that are convertible into cash, that are easily convertible into cash within an accounting year. Within an accounting year, they can change form. They are easily convertible into cash. They can change form. Example of current assets, we talk about inventory, which is stock. For now, we call it stock. So please mute yourself so that we can be hearing me. So we have inventory. Inventory or stock. Before now, we call it stock. Before the advent of International Financial Reporting Standard, we call it stock. Now, this inventory is of majorly of two types. It can be inventory in form of raw material. If you are a producing company, what you buy initially will be raw material. You process them to become work in progress. From work in progress, they become finished goods. So it's at the point of finished goods that can be selling to customers. So you can see that the moment you have finished goods, So these goods now can easily be sold to customers and you have cash. Can easily be sold to customers and you have cash. So you can see that it's not going to be there forever. It's not going to stay for a long time. As you are producing, you're also selling. So this one will earn you cash for your customer to be able to provide you resources to do more business as you progress in your business. Now, the inventory too can also be finished goods. Like if you are a trader or a company that go to the market, your own is just to buy already made goods. To buy them to come and sell to your final customer. So it's also under the inventory. So inventory can be inventory as raw material. Inventory can be inventory as finished goods. Inventory can be inventory as work in progress. But the work in progress, you cannot sell to anybody. It's just like you are cooking a pot of stew to serve rice to people. If you have already boiled the tomato and prepared it, but you have not put oil, no salt, no meat, you cannot use that one to sell. That process is called work in progress. You are still preparing to become a final product. So another current asset, you have cash. When you already have cash in the bank, it can be cash in the bank, it can be cash in your bank, in your office. That's why I say cash in hand and cash at bank. The one in the bank, which is under the control of the bank, while the one in the company, which is under your control. We also have another important current asset, which is trade receivables. Trade receivables. So that trade receivables are goods already sold to customers on credit. When you sell goods to customers on credit, that means they are owe you money. At any particular point in time, you can meet this customer to say, they should pay you. Because when I already sell goods to Ruth, I have the power now to go to Ruth to say, you have to pay my money that you are owing me. But if I have not sold any goods to her, I cannot go to her to say, must pay me money. So that's why inventory is receivable. It's almost like cash. I've sold on credit. And I can say 90% of the people listening to me today, or myself, we have bought one thing or the other on credit. Sometimes you even have money, but you don't just want to spend that money. Say, if I can pay tomorrow, let me take it now. So you buy it on credit. So that is trade receivable. Now we also have a prepayment. Prepayment can easily be converted into cash. Ruth just arrived in Ghana. He's working in Ghana. And he decided to rent a house. And that house he rented is going to be paying per annum. He's paying for that house per annum. Hold on a second. Let me check my phone. So he's going to be paid per annum. And he has paid maybe 1,000 cedis, Ghana cedis, for the rent. Or let's use Nigeria so that we get it clearer. Ruth is in Lagos. He just rented a room and parlor or a self-contained flat in a highbrow area, Banana Island. He pay 10 million naira for that self-contained. So the intention that is coming to be in Lagos to be working. Let's say Ruth is from Ogun State, but she's coming to Lagos to work. And he has paid 10 million naira. They have a company. Let's say it's Ruth Nigeria Limited. Set up that company. They pay for that rent where she's staying. Now, within 5-6 months, he's leaving that company to maybe their main head office, which is now located at Ikeja. He's leaving Banana Island to go to Ikeja. It's still the same company. You see, they have already paid that 10 million naira for a year. Nobody is going to be staying there again. They can tell the landlord to say, we don't need this apartment again. We have already spent 6 months, but it's not the balance money to us. So that is also current asset. You see, they can easily be turned into cash. Yesterday, you have paid the money to your landlord. Today, you don't need it. You're not staying there again. You can demand for a refund. So those are some of the items that falls under current asset. You can see that they are not static. They changes form. That's what they call them current asset. They changes form within an accounting year. Today, they can be inventory. Tomorrow, they can enter finished goods. From finished good, they can enter receivable. From trade receivable, they can enter cash. From cash again, they go back to inventory. So it's a cycle. As we progresses on this lecture now, you see that cycle to call it the cash cycle. The cash cycle, how it moves from one aspect of the cycle to the other, it moves continuously. It does not stop. It's a cycle that is moving every day. 365 days in a year is always moving, as long as the company remains a going concern. Now we have current liabilities. Current liabilities are also liabilities that are not static. They must be settled within that accounting year. They change form also. They are not staying permanently, which is different from non-current assets. I'm sure the phone, maybe the furniture, please mute. The furniture route with the family would have been using. They may not buy it today. They would have bought it maybe 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, or maybe last year. Even the same thing with a vehicle. You buy a vehicle that will be with you for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. Those are not current assets. They don't change form quickly. They remain for a long time in one position. So the current liability now, we also have what we call the trade payables. Trade payables. Just the same way you are selling goods to your customer on credit, you also go outside to buy goods on credit from another person. So when you sell to a customer and the customer is owing you, you become your trade receivable. When you buy from another supplier, which is also your customer, and you are owing that person, you become that person's trade payable, which means that person, you are owing that person, you are going to pay that person. Just the same way the other person is owing you, that is going to pay you, is your receivable, while the other person you are going to pay become your payable. The person you are going to pay, you are owing that person. So now we have the trade payables when you buy on credit, the trade receivable when you sell on credit. Look at the two language that differentiate them: buy and sell. When you buy, it become payable. When you sell, it become receivable. Another one again is outstandings. Outstanding, you know, as a company, all your expenses, you may not pay all of them at the same time. People are working for you before the end of the month. Like now, this is month of July. I am working. All of some of us in the class are also working. As you are working, your company is already indebted to you that he will pay you at the end of the month. So if it's setting the account, that money has not paid, you must pay provision. You have to set it aside. That is outstanding. You can call it outstanding. You can call it owing. Wire payment in advance, you can call it payments in advance. You can call it prepaid. So if in a question you see prepaid, you see payment in advance, all of them mean money that's already paid in advance. But when you see in arrears, outstanding, due, all those are money that's already due that must be paid within that same accounting year. So you can see that here we are having trade payables, we are having outstanding, we are having bank overdrafts, but loan does not come under current liabilities. Loan is for a fixed period, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, as the case may be. But bank overdraft, it changes form. Today, you overdraw your account from the bank. Tomorrow, money has come. You come out of that overdrawn position to a positive position. So it's not a permanent situation. So if today my account is 100,000 naira and I go to the bank, I beg the bank, I want to 150. Now I'll be owing them 50,000 naira. Tomorrow I can come again and pay 100,000 naira. My position changes immediately from a debit of 50,000 naira to a credit of 50,000 naira. So these are the two main components which you use to determine your working capital. The money that is available for you to do your business on day-to-day basis. So you look at your current assets, what you can easily convert to cash, and your current liabilities, what that cash can easily pay. So if your current asset is more than your current liability, that means you have a positive working capital. A positive working capital. And you have rest of mind. But if your current asset is less than your current liability, you are having a negative working capital. And this is a situation whereby you say that they say, why are you people not working to this? You cannot work, or we are not having the generator because you don't even have that money to buy those things. Oh, why? What happened? Our raw material just finished. We have not been able
Excuse,
to.
sir.
Yes.
Sir, I think you are far from your phone and the slide. Can you please change it?
You mean far from? I didn't get you.
Like your voice is
I'm
going
not
Your voice
far.
is not coming out very well.
Huh?
your voice
Your voice
your
is
voice is
low.
your voice is not coming out very well.
I'm surprised. I allowed it to the end.
Also, we've been seeing same slides.
Sir, please, the slide. Are you still on the first slide?
You said what?
Are you still on the first slide?
I'm on the first slide and I've not left that place now.
Okay.
What
Okay,
happened?
okay, sir.
I've
We
not
just
left
want-
the first slide.
Thank you.
Let me just do it again so that we'll see it more clearly. I'm on the first slide. I've not left there. So just hold on. Let me check again. Just hold on. Let me check again whether it will be better like this. Now relog in. Let me see whether it will help. Hello, can you see this one now?
Clearly,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Sure.
Is it clear now? You can see clearly on the board, on the
Yes,
on the
very
slide.
clear.
Very well, sir.
Bold and clear.
Okay. Okay. So just as I was saying, current asset minus current liability will give your working capital. So what is the purpose of current working capital? It helps to mention a company's short-term financial health. Short-term financial health. Just as that's why I said, even working capital as an individual, we need it. You have to measure your short-term financial health on an operational efficiency. Because do you even have money? You know, to a company, they call it working capital. Our own, as an individual, do you have money when you wake up in the morning, you can make breakfast for yourself? You may have different assets. You have a big house, you have electronics, you have everything, but the commonest thing you don't have, which is the liquidity. So working capital is also determining the liquidity of a business on a short-term basis. At any point in time, you're able to take care of your immediate needs. That is working capital. So we are going to go further again. Madam Ruth, I spent time admitting people. I thought you, the controller, will be admitting people when they come in. Are you not seeing them, please?
I'm admitting people, sir.
And I'm also admitting here now.
I'm
So I
admitting
should not
people
bother.
myself.
Okay, I should not bother for here.
No,
Okay.
I'm admitting them. It's not everybody that will be admitted. Some are coming twice.
Okay,
That's
no
why.
problem. Let me concentrate there. Now we have what are the ratio for the working ratio, working capital ratio, the key working capital ratio. The first one is current ratio. Current ratio. In an exam, they can tell you to calculate the working capital ratio. Working capital ratio is the same thing as current ratio. Working capital ratio. You not be saying, working capital ratio. Yes, working capital ratio. You can call it current ratio. Now, after current ratio, we have another ratio. So we take the step by step. So what is the working capital ratio now? It's just current asset over current liability. And what does that mean? So ratio 1, everything you are doing in ratio 1. When you have current asset over current liability, you put 2 dots, you put 1 in front. What does that signify? Your current ratio must be more than your current liability. Otherwise, you don't have rest of mind. If I'm owing a route 100,000 naira, I'm having 200,000 naira. You know, I will be comfortable because if I pay her 100,000 naira, I'll still have a balance of 100,000 naira to myself that I will use. So that's why I said it will help to measure the ability to cover your short-term obligation. We have to measure the ability to cover a short-term obligation. So when your ratio is more than 1, it's good. If it is less than 1, that means there's a problem. But if the ratio is too high, it means inefficient use of your assets. For example, current asset over current liability, we are going to see the calculation. You must have a ratio of 2 to 1. Ratio of 2 to 1. When you start having a ratio of 5 to 1, 6 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1, that means you are keeping your asset too much. You are not utilizing it. That's why your asset is too high relative to your trade, your current liabilities. You are going to see it as we progress. So every calculation you are doing, your current ratio ID1 must be 2 to 1. So when it becomes too excessive, that means there's inefficient asset use. You know, you are going to answer objective question. The question can come like this: what is the effect of a high current ratio, of a very high current ratio? A, we just say A, inefficient asset use, B, efficient asset use, and so on and so forth. So it can come like that. Now let's move further. The next one is the quick ratio. Quick ratio is also known as liquid ratio. Quick ratio is known as liquid ratio or acid test ratio. So it can come for exam. You see, they say calculate the quick ratio, or calculate the acid test ratio, or calculate the liquid ratio. Whichever one name they bring, you should be able to answer it. So, you know, I talked about the beginning, we're talking about current aspect, the component of current aspect, the current, we talk about inventory, receivable, cash and bank, cash in hand, repayment, or payment in advance. All of them are what constitute current assets. But now, if you look at most current assets of every company, the highest of it is always inventory. Inventory, yes, we say it can easily be convertible. But you know, there are some inventory can stay for a long time, nobody will buy them. So that's when you want to really test your liquid position. You want to remove inventory from your current asset. To say, okay, inventory, you have not sold them, which means they can be there, you did not even sell them. If you don't sell them, are you going to be comfortable for the business to run well? So that's why we are picking current asset minus inventory all over current liability. Current asset minus inventory all over current liability. Ratio 1. In this instance, you know, the first one I said the industry standard is that you must have ratio 2 to 1. Under this situation, the industry standard is that you must have ratio 1 to 1, which means I have 100,000 now, and I'm paying people 100,000, which means I can pay them without considering my inventory, and my life still goes on well. Your inventory can be 2 million, but you are owing people 1 million naira, and you also have the cash 1 million naira. In case they say, come and pay me today, you can easily pay them, even without bother about who will buy your inventory. Why is this ratio important? Because if you don't have a ratio, if you don't have liquidity that can take care of your trade payable under a tight situation, then your inventory now you'll be selling them out at a cheap rate. Because when you are desperate and nobody is buying your inventory, something you are supposed to sell for 20,000, I can say, anybody that can buy 5,000, anybody that can buy 6,000, you want to sell it. You sell at a loss because you are desperate to get money. So that's why we are not testing the company again that if we remove inventory, can you still stand? So ratio 1 to 1 is the ideal. But it doesn't mean that in all situations you must get ratio 1 to 1. That is really life situation. So you can get something below ratio 1 to 1, and you know that the company will still go where they will still manage and apply some very prudent measures to ensure that they're able to manage until they get more money. But in an exam situation, when it is below ratio 1, it is not acceptable. So you can see the interpretation there. 1, a stricter test of liquidity when we exclude the inventory. 2, you also focus on the most liquid asset. Why do you say the most liquid asset? These are assets that they are already almost cash, like receivable, like short-term investment. Because when you sell goods to somebody and the person is already owe you, automatic, if there's any need for money, you can easily run back to the person to say, yeah, pay me my money. So let's go forward again. We have the cash ratio, which is also part of the working capital ratio. So cash ratio now, we are saying cash and cash equivalent plus marketable securities all over current liabilities. Anything that relates to cash and cash equivalent, you have the treasury bill, you have treasury certificate, all those are cash and cash equivalent that can easily converted. Now, marketable securities, like you have shares. You have shares that you can easily sell. You have debenture, you can easily sell and you get money. You know, if I need money today and I have shares, I'm not a poor man. I have shares that I will just call my stockbroker on Monday. Please sell part of my Zenith Bank shares, sell part of my Dangote shares. By that same Monday, before afternoon or evening, my account is credited. So you can see that I'll be liquid. The same thing with company. When you have all those securities on ground, at any desperate situation, they can even call their stockbroker, they will sell those shares. What is the interpretation? It's the most conservative liquidity ratio, which means this one, when everything is not available, this one will make you to still stand. That's what we call it cash ratio, because what is already cash, something that is cash, you can easily, you have them at hand to spend in case of any emergency, and the other current asset cannot bail you out. Now, you also indicate company ability to pay off current liability immediately. Let's say today now, you say, no, you don't want to owe you any current liability again. Even without getting money from receivable, from your inventory, you can activate this clause. Sell some of your marketable securities, collect all your cash you are having in the bank, pay off all these people and say, yes, we want the company to be free from liabilities. Hello, hope you are hearing me, please. Hello?
Yes, sir. We are hearing you.
Clearly,
But not
sir.
so loud.
I hear you, sir.
Okay,
So
now,
loud, sir.
thank you. Yeah. Now we talk about the working capital turnover. Now we're not talking about turnover. Remember, we're talking about ratio. We're not talking about working capital turnover ratio. Now, what is the working capital turnover ratio? We're also looking at net sales all over average working capital. Net sales all over average working capital. What is our net sales? If as a company, let's say I'm always using root because I'm not seeing other people. You can give me another that I'll be using the other as an example. Let's say company ABC has made sales. The sales they made is 2 million sales, 2 million naira sales. That 2 million naira sales, 1.9 million is to external customers. 1.9 million is to external customers. 100,000 is to internal customers. So your net sales now will be that 2 million minus 100,000. Because that 100,000, why are we removing? Why are we removing sales within the company? Because it's still the same problem that we are fed them. So if Root Nigeria Limited sell goods to Root father of Root Nigeria Limited, and tomorrow father of Root Nigeria Limited cannot pay Root, will Root carry him to court? Hello? Can you
Hello,
hear
sir.
me? Do you hear my example?
It's not that clear, sir.
You are not very
Okay,
audible,
let
sir.
me say it again.
Speaking.
You have. Can you hear me now? Can I say it again?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, take it again,
I say
sir.
you have Root Father Nigeria Limited. It's a company. You have Root Limited. It's also a company. If Root Limited sell goods to Root Father Limited for 1 million naira, and at the end of the day, Root Father Limited cannot pay, will Root carry Root Father Limited to the court to collect the money?
No, sir. No, sir.
Not at all, sir.
Why? He won't carry him because the goods is within the same family. You are selling goods to your father cannot pay. But if Root Nigeria Limited sell goods to me as an external person at arm's length, me we are not related, and he sell goods to me for 1 million naira and I'm not paid, what will happen to me?
Cut it, yes, sir.
She will carry you straight. Court, sir.
Cut it, yeah.
I used to take me to court that he must collect our money. So that's why when some question come and say goods sold to subsidiary is part of the company. It's a different company, but there is the same group. So you cannot sue them because you're also the owner. It's like you are eating food now. Your teeth mistakenly beat your tongue. You use annoyance and break your teeth.
Not at all, sir.
No, sir.
Because it still belongs to you.
Yes.
It still belongs to you. Only feel the pain. You just feel the pain and keep the one that is injured. The one that is you will not remove it because it's still relevant to you. So that is the issue of net sales. Assuming a question, they give you a question to say, oh, business, you have a subsidiary show your goods to, and so on and so forth. When you are calculating, you are using the net sales. The one you sold to your subsidiary, you remove it because that one will not determine whether you are doing well or you are not doing well. Now, our average working capital, where will that one come? Average working capital will come when they give you different years. If they give you 2 different years, you'll be able to determine the working capital for year 1 and working capital for year 2. When you add the 2 together, you divide it by 2. That is average working capital. So what does it tell us? It will measure how effectively a company uses its working capital to do what? To generate sales. So if your working capital is 1 million and you are generating a sales of 100,000 of 100 million, that means, oh, you are doing very well. That is 10 times. Now, a higher ratio also indicates efficient use. You have a working capital of 1 million, you are generating sales of 100 million. Another person have a working capital of 1 million, he generating sales of 10 million. You can see the one of 100 million is doing better. So the ratio will be very high. But too high may suggest working capital is too low. So if, for example, your working capital is 1 million and you are generating sales of 100 million, you know it will be how many times? How many times will be very high? When your working capital is 10 million and you are generating sales of 100 million, that is just 10 times. So those are some of the interpretations. That's why I put all those interpretations so that when you see them for objective, you're able to interpret the meaning of your calculation. Now we have different type of working capital. The first one is the gross working capital. What is the gross? It's just total current asset. They give you question. They say calculate the gross working capital. Just look at the total current asset. Total figure, add it together. Take your option A, B, C. Is the total there? You just take it. Nothing more than that. The next one, they say calculate your net working capital, which is meaning you're not picking current asset minus current liability. Now subtract again. Check your options.
Your voice is full, sir.
You're not hearing me again.
Yes,
Don't worry.
sir.
Next.
The voice is still low.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. We can hear you now, sir.
So, when the voice is too low, that means you have to supply a carton of water so that the voice will be high. So
Okay,
when I
sir.
move to change something on my line, that is where I'm out of the computer, but I'm with the computer now. So can you hear me now, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's move so that we can do more things. Now, you can see the ratio now. I also put the ratio, the formula, and the purpose. Current ratio, you see the formula there. So these are the key things you should know for exam, because your exam is objective. You are not looking for solving calculation alone now to get answer. You must pick the correct option. So I can tell you what is the formula for calculating current ratio, which is just current asset minus current liability. I can put current asset plus current liability. I can put current asset minus long-term liability. I can put long-term non-current asset minus current liability. So take note of that. Hello, please mute yourself. So that, hello, mute yourself. Please. Now, a question can also be asked, what is the purpose of current ratio? There will be so many options. A, it measures liquidity. B, it tests immediate liquidity. C, it tests the strictness liquidity measure. And D, it measures the efficiency of working capital in use. So all those options, the purpose can also be part of an option. So once you understand them, you know which one is correct. Now, quick ratio, you can see current asset minus inventory all over current liability. The cash ratio, cash plus marketable security all over current liabilities, while the working capital turnover is net sales divided by average working capital. So please, let's take note of that. Now, in business, there are some things we need to also understand. We'll soon go to calculation. There's what we call over capitalization. When you say over capitalization, you know there are some times, even as an individual, you have so much cash, you don't know what to do with it. If they tell you a bottle of water is 10,000 naira, you are not bothered, you are ready to buy because the money is too much, you don't even know what to do with it. That is what we call over capitalization. Company also face that type of problem. They have raised too much money, but they don't even know how to now use it to generate money. Especially a company go to the stock market to go and raise equity. Now raise plenty money. They wanted to raise 1 billion naira. You see that Sorry, it just went off. Oh,
Okay, sir.
it's your network. I wanted to even change again, but thank God it's back. And they use the Airtel, I use the MTN. So when one is misbehaving, I quickly change to the other one. Sorry, I'm putting on the slide so that we can see it again. So can we see it again? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So now let's look at that overcapitalization. They say when the business raises more capital than it needs or can efficiently use. So when it raises more capital. So what are the symptoms that will tell us that the company is overcapitalized? Number one, falling returns on investment. You know, you have too much money now, but you know that money you raise it from people. You know, you're supposed to pay them a return. You raise it from people, but you raise the money now, you're not compensated the way it's supposed to be. So if I invest, if they are selling shares, like Dangote refinery say who soon sell their shares, and they now sell shares, they now make so much money in excess of what they need. You know, they cannot even utilize the money to generate money because but for you to pay dividend, for you to pay return to equity providers, you must make a benefit. You must invest. You must use that money for investment and get a return, profit before you can pay dividend. So if you don't know what to use the money for, the money is just idle there. You can't get return now to pay dividend. Are you still going to use the same money they gave you to pay dividend? So those people now will be waiting for return. They will not get anything. So they will be annoyed, the investors. Number two, earnings not enough to pay a fair return to investors. If I want to earn, it's not even enough because they have not invested that money judiciously. Number three, there will be excessive idle cash or underutilized assets. Sometimes you go and build a big house, then go to the refinery headquarters, but nothing is coming out of there because you are not even utilizing the money you have collected from the investors. So it becomes a problem. So you can note this thing through all these symptoms. So what normally causes overcapitalization? One, overestimating future earnings. Mhm. So you are believing that tomorrow you are going to make so much money. When you overestimate your expectation. Other one, when you are raising excess fund just in case. You don't need the money, but you're just raising them. You are saying, in case anything go wrong tomorrow, I need to have plenty money. I need to have plenty money. Just pile the money, pile the money. You're not using the money for anything. Other one can be poor investment decision or asset management. Your investment, you don't even know which one to go into that will benefit you. You don't have a quality investment decision. Other one can also be economic downturn that will reduce your business opportunity. You have the money, but you are scared because the economy is not doing very well. You don't really know which sector to put that money into so that the money will not be a problem. So you are scared. Another one is asset debt leading to heavy interest burden. Sometimes you borrow too much money. The money full grant, but you are not using it well, and you are paying too much interest on that money that you are borrowing. So all those can be responsible for overcapitalization. So what are the effects of overcapitalization? The first one I was saying that time, which is lower dividend to shareholder. Shareholder will be satisfied because they have invested money. Sorry, network today is very lousy. I don't know. We don't usually have the experience like this, so we just manage. Sorry.
Yes, sir.
So we talk about the effects, which I said the first one, customer and your shareholder will be dissatisfied. The second one is that there will be decrease in the market value of your shares. I say for shares, for their price to be going up in the stock market, because when people see that the company is making profit, everybody want to buy the shares. So the drive for the shares, which is determinable by the forces of demand and supply, will make the price to go up. Other one again, there will be difficulty raising further capital. When you're already overcapitalized and you're not doing the people that bought your share before, you're not doing very well. When you want to raise money next time, nobody will be interested in investing in your company. Other one can create poor public image and even possible business decline. You say, don't mind that company. They're always coming to raise money in the market. The moment they finish now, you will not see them again, they'll disappear. So nobody will want to do business with them. So what are the remedies for overcapitalization? When you see that you have too much money and this money you are having, some of them are debt, some of them are shares they have sold. How do you remove your problem from overcapitalization? One, all those debts you have borrowed, you're having so much money you borrow, and you are not paying interest heavily on them. What do? You negotiate with the debt holder and convert those shares to equity or Number two, share buyback. It will reduce excess equity capital. Like customer you sold shares to before, I see that you are not able to use the money to generate anything, and you have excess money. You can buy those shares back and turn their money to them. So it will reduce your body. Now we also have mute. Please mute. Mute. So we also have better asset management. You should be able to say, look at your business very well. Look at those assets you have that are not useful or are not giving the best. You sell them out. I also do what they call business organization. You have to focus on core activities. So if you look at banks today in Nigeria and many companies, they now focus on core activities. They don't want to do everything. That's why you see banks before. You see one bank, it has into merchant, into this, into that. So they are not specializing. So instead of do it alone, that's why I'm now having a holding company. You know, Ford Bank before, they will get Ford Bank, subsidiary of merchant, subsidiary of mortgage bank, subsidiary of insurance. So if they are not making any profit, they are not making anything, they will be affecting the main bank. But today now, instead of like that, they now call it first bank holding or first holding. So first holding now is the company. They now have different subsidiaries. Like First Bank is a subsidiary of First Holding. First Mortgage is a subsidiary of First Holding. So they are no longer relying on the bank. All of them operate independently. So that the problem they were giving First Bank before will be removed. The same thing like UBA and so on and so forth. Hello, can you hear me, please? Hello.
Loud and clear, sir. Loud and clear, sir.
We can hear you, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Okay, so let's look at ratio that determine investments in working capital. The ratio that will determine your investment in working capital. So this is what is going to help you to judge. You need to invest more money in working capital when you are going to say, oh, bank, give me money for working capital. Number one, we say 6 over working capital. This one will also determine the volume of sales. It's the volume of sales as a measure of the working capital you have invested. Which I said that. That's why we have net sales all over the average working capital. How much are you generating based on the working capital that you have? So that one will determine whether you are better than where you are coming from, or where you are coming from, is it better, and how can you improve on it? Another one, we'll talk about the liquid ratio, which is a current ratio in excess of 1 or a quick ratio in excess of 1 to 1. They also indicate whether you should invest in working capital. Now, we'll talk about the turnover period. We have excessive turnover period for inventory and receivable, or a low period of credit taking will also indicate the volume of inventories or receivable that is unnecessarily high or low as far as the business is concerned. So now we're talking about overcapitalization. There's another side of it, which is overcapitalization, overtrading. So overtrading now is a situation whereby you don't have, or you want to do so many things. You're overstressing yourself. When a business overstresses its trade volume with what? With little capital. So that is overtrading. It also happens to us as individuals. You don't have much money. Instead of you to stay for room and panel, self-contained, you want to hire duplex. So you're overstressing yourself and you're having a lot of burden on top of your head. So it's the same thing with a company. So this one can also be a problem to them. So overtrading can occur due to two main factors. One, when there is no repayment. So where a business may not replace loan. So you have no repayment, you are paying, you are overstretching yourself, and you have effect on your working capital. Another one again is inflation, where the return on profit is insufficient for you to cover your asset replacement, because you need to, as you are operating your business, there are some assets that need to be taken and so on and so forth. And when you are not able to do this, it can have effects on your business vis-a-vis the working capital. So when there's inflation and you are not doing very well, so the problem can come. You are stressing yourself to use the little you have to do so many things. So that one can also be a problem. So what are the characteristics of over trading? That is the sign that show you that you are over trading. Number one, over trading can result in rapid sales turnover. When you're over trading now, because you are needing money quick, your turnover now will be drastically high. Why will it be high? Other people are selling a bottle of water, 300 naira. You are selling on 200 naira. If we don't care whether you are making a loss or a gain, you just want to sell because you are having too much pressure. You need money to pay. Somebody is coming to collect 10,000, he gives you. Please just sell anything, provided you will get 10,000. So when the person call, we can pay the 10,000. So your good that you are not supposed to sell very cheap, you are selling them very cheap just because you want to raise money. So in that situation, there will be rapid sales turnover. And that rapid sales turnover will lead to what? A fall in gross profit. Your gross profit will be reducing because your cost of sales and your sales now, the margin is so slim that sometimes may not even make anything on it. Now, there will also be increased overhead costs because you are not making many people. For example, now, because you want to sell, you can even hire people temporarily. Please put water on your head, go and sell on the street. Tell them 150, even if it's 150, just sell it and come. Remember those people too, you are going to pay them. So you are incurring additional overhead costs. So you increase your current and fixed asset volume. Like all those assets you are buying, for example, now, people that are going to sell for you, you want to buy a for them to sell. So you want to buy new car, new van, and all those things. So these things increases cost, and there will be slight or no capital increase. Even with all this wahala you are doing so many things, but you cannot really have anything to show for it that you're actually working well. And all this one will also be resulting to finance by credit. You have debt ratio change and liquidity ratio change. So that's why over trading is not good at all. It's stressing the company, and at the end of the day, the company is not even making any good thing to show for it. So what is the relationship between working capital and overcapitalization? So when you have a poor working capital management, it can cause an overcapitalization. It can worsen. It can either cause or worsen overcapitalization. When you have a poor working capital, that means your working capital is very low. Either it worsens the situation of overcapitalization or it reduces the situation. Now, it can also, when you have an idle working capital, that is money you tied up in inventory or receivable, it's also a sign of overcapitalization. capitalization. I put the money somewhere, but you cannot even use it because it's not generating anything for you. You have tied so much money in inventory, you are not able to sell, so you are not making profit. So the inventory are just there. And it happened to so many shops. You go to some shop, if they bought 1 year ago, 7 months ago, 8 months ago, it's there. By the time you are picking, they see that they're almost expiring. So those things they buy very expensive, they will not be rushing to sell them out so that everything will not just be a total loss. Another one again, a company must also balance between the need for liquidity, working capital, without tying up excess capital unnecessarily. So when you are doing all these things, you must know that whatever you are doing, you do it in a way so that they will be balanced. Otherwise, there will be negative effects. So let's look at the calculation we are talking about to enable us to solve the question. You know, we have been looking at the theory. So here now, we want to be looking at the calculation we need in computing our figure, especially the turnover period. Turnover. Remember, turnover is very important as far as working capital is concerned. Anything you are doing, how quick do you turn over? Anything you are doing, how quick do you turn over as far as the market is concerned? So that's why if you are the one that if you go to market every day, see some people, they will come, they want to quickly sell. They'll go and collect again, quickly sell, they go and collect again. They have a reason for all those things. Now, you too, as a businessman, you must know how long, when you sell goods to your debtors, how long do they pay you? That is your receivable. When you also buy from customer on credit, how long does it take you to pay that customer? Those are the various turnover we are going to be looking at. So that one will help to determine your cash cycle. How do you calculate your cash cycle? Number one, we talk of raw material stock turnover. When you have raw material you bring to your warehouse, how long does it take before those raw material can be turned into finished goods? That is raw material stock turnover. So the formula is average raw material inventories over purchases per annum times 365 days. So when the question asks you, we are going to say calculation, and you see all those the use of this formula. How do you calculate how long, when you buy raw material, how long does it stay in your store before you can process the raw material, it can turn to good that you are going to sell. That is what that one is telling us. The other one again, work in progress turnover. You know, I told you that when you are doing your production, it's not everything you started today you can complete. Let's take Nigeria Brewery as an example. They want to produce Mortina. So they will bring malt, bring sugar, bring wheat, everything they mix together, process it, boil them. The one they need to use machine to grind it, remove the water from it, throw away the shaft, mix whatever they want to make, put sugar, put water, everything will be completed today. But when they finish, they may not be able to bottle it today. So that will be the drum. So as at the time it's in the drum, if you go there to use cup to fetch from that pot, you can drink. It's already Mortina. But it's not yet put in a position that can be disposed out to the final consumer. So at that point of the level of production, it's called work in progress. So that's why I use a stew from the beginning today, that you are making stew, you go to a half level. Now let's look at the water we drink, bottled water or pure water. Now they will have boiled the water, put on the chemical they need to put, filter the water to make sure it's not ready for consumption. Not until they put them in the plastic or they put them in the nylon, which they use and gum it together, package it and bring it outside. You cannot buy it. So if they do it halfway, they are not finished to get to the level of being able to sell it out, to become what? Work in progress. Now, the finished goods, that is the one that's already finished. If you look at 7-Up, they do water, they do drink. You see their trailer on the road. How long does it take when they finish those goods and push them to their hands? How long does it take for them to sell it? That is a finished goods turnover. Receivable turnover, when you sell to customer on credit, how long does it take them to pay back? How long does it take them to pay back? When you also buy on credit, how long does it take you to pay that customer back? So all of them are very important. So let's quickly look at this example together. It will help us to understand what we have been discussing since. The following information were extracted from the record of Bello PSC for 2023. Stock, raw materials. You can see it is well defined here. Stock, raw material. You can also have stock, finished goods. Now, stock raw material, 150,000. Work in progress, 60,000. Finished goods, 200,000. Purchases, 500. Receivable, 230. Payables, 126, 900. Cost of goods sold, 750. The question says required, calculate the working capital cycle of the company. So you look at this question very well because you see how many answers we are going to get. But in my exam, I will not just tell you, say, calculate the working capital cycle of the company. I will define them for you to make it easy. I'll say calculate the following so that one question can need to answer like 5 questions. So let's look at the hint. The cash operating cycle, which is also known as what? The working capital cycle or the cash conversion cycle, is the number of days between paying supplier and receiving cash from sales. When you pay supplier, the day you take to pay supplier that supply your raw material, you now produce and you now sell to your customer and receive your cash from sales. So you can see the cycle. Cash operating cycle is start by inventory days plus receivable days minus payable days. If you look at what we have displayed on the board, you see that inventory is in one side. Inventory now, you'll be seeing raw material, work in progress, finished goods, purchases. From there, we added receivable. From receivable, we remove payable. What does it give to us? It gives us our sales. So that our sales now will now have to be converted into cash. So that is the cash cycle of the business. So let's move. So this is the calculation now. You know, based on our formula, the formula will not discuss. Hello, I hope you can hear me, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Based on the formula we have, we just discussed now. Let's look at it. The first thing, inventory, is in the front. I put ROM. ROM is for materials. Inventory, ROM. So let's go back to the formula so that you'll be seeing it. If you look at it, we know we say 150 over 500 times 365. So go back to that formula. We say raw material. What do we say? Average raw material over purchases per annum times 365 days. Let's look at the question. Where's our raw material? 150. Can you see 150? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We can see.
150. Now, go back again. Purchases per annum. Can you see our purchases per annum? How much is that? How much?
500.
500. So, if you go to this solution now, you can see 150 over 500 times
365 days.
I see it. But in
Yes,
an exam, please watch out. Examiner may want to test you by telling you you'll say note, use 360 days for your calculation. Are you getting it? Note,
Yes.
go note it. Use 360 days for your calculation. Don't say because you know that a year is 365 days, you use it. Whatever, the answer will be there. I want you to know if you use 365 days, the answer will be there. But I have told you the number of days you should use in a year, which means the whole of that question is 0. So don't jump out and say, yes, you have killed the examiner. You have not killed the examiner because you did not read your instruction. Always read the instruction. Another one again, the examiner can say, use a leap year days for your calculation. What is a leap year days? Who can tell me?
366
366 days, sir.
Are you getting it now? So those are the things you should watch out. So that's why you can know a question, but because you did not follow the examiner instruction, the person will get it wrong. So please, let's watch out. So we go back now, want to look at the work in progress. Work in progress, what formula did he give us? He still say average work in progress, all over cost of production per annum times 365. Now, what is our work in progress? It's given to us as 60. What of our cost of goods sold? 750. Have you seen it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Times what now?
You can see it, sir.
Times 365.
365.
Have you seen it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If you go to the finished goods, let's go back to finished goods again. What did this say? Average finished goods
Finished good stuff.
all over cost of sales per annum times what?
The cost of sale per annum.
Cost of 6 per annum.
So all over what? 365 days. So let's go there now. Our finished goods is what? 200,000. Our cost of 200,000. Okay, this is where. So this is where you not get yourself confused now. You can say we use, what do we use there? We say cost of sales. Cost of sales per annum. Cost of production. You know, when your cost of sales is what you have produced. What you produce that you are going to get. That is not your sales. Your cost of sales, what does it cost you to sell? So take note of that so that you don't make mistake. So you can see, what do we use there? 750. I see. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Cost of sales. Cost is not say your sales. What is what you are sold? Is what you produce that you sell. Your cost of production is same thing as your cost of sales. What you have sold that you are producing. Do you understand me, so?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Do I take it again?
Yes, I
Yes,
take
sir.
it again.
Take it again.
I said the question exam, they can want to confuse say your cost of production and your cost of sales. If you are preparing your financial account, you see we say opening inventory, add purchases, less closing inventory. You have what? Your cost of goods sold. Do you hear that language?
Yes, sir.
You know, when you are preparing your account, you have opening inventory, add your purchases, less closing inventory. What do you have? Cost of goods sold. You can call it cost of goods sold. You can call it cost of production because your production now, you are not bringing factory to it. You can call it cost of sales. All of them are referring to the same thing. So take note so you don't make that mistake. And I say, I didn't know. So that's why we are using 200 over 750 times 365. So let's go to the receivable now. You will see the
Thank you, ma.
You'll see the receivable now. What did you tell us about the receivable?
Receivable
Receivable says what? Sales per
Average.
annum. Did you say put cost? Hello?
You can see it, sir.
Yes, sir.
What did receivable says? It said cost per sales. What did the other one says? Cost of sales, cost of production. Are you getting it? Cost of sales, cost of production. But when it comes to receivable, we say sales per annum. So that's why we're using per annum. And now we'll go to receivable. Our receivable is 230. While our sales is 900. So that's why you have it 230 over 900. It gives us 365. So in an exam, please take note of this cycle we are looking at. In an exam, a question like this can come for you. You understand? How many answers are here now? Inventory, 1. Work in progress, 2. Finished goods, 3. Receivable, 4. Operating cycle, 5. Payables, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Payable, how many? 6. Cash cycle is how many? Hello?
7.
Yes,
How
sir.
many now? How many things have I counted?
7, sir.
7. I can give you a question and tell you use it to answer question number 1 to 7. Question number 1 to 7. I will tell you about first one. I say, what are the inventory days? How many do we have? How many do we have here now? It's already showing on the board now. Is it not what are 10 days? Everything we are calculating now is in days. What are the inventory days? What are 10 days? I'll say, what is the work in progress days? 29 days. What is the finished goods days? 97 days. What is the receivable days? 93 days. What is the operating cycle days? 329 days. What are each of them telling us? They are saying that when you bring your inventory, for you to convert that inventory, you understand, to enter your work in progress, it will take you 10 days. From work in progress for those goods to enter a finished goods, it takes 29 days. From 29 days, it takes 29 days. From finished goods, for you to be able to sell all of them, to enter the receivable, you will sell for 90 days. Now, receivable, we are saying when you sell, for you to be able to collect all your money back, it will take you 93 days. That is the meaning of all this interpretation. I hope you are hearing me now. Inventory, the raw material they pay for you will stay in your factory for you to work on all of them, process them before you move them to the work in progress. It takes 1 or 10 days. These goods will remain work in progress for 29 days before they enter finished goods. From finished goods, for you to move them from finished goods, they will have finished within 97 days before you can move them to sell. When you sell, for you to be able to collect the money, what you sold and everything, it takes 93 days. That's why in a year, all your production, everything, will take you 329 days for you to complete everything. Now, out of that, it takes you 88 days. Yes.
So, sir, are you saying if you give us those figures, 29 days, 38 days, we should use it to calculate our inventories and work in progress, etc., instead of 365 days?
No, you're not getting me. I'm only telling you that we have calculated 150 over 565 days. If they say calculate your inventory days, we have calculated to give us 110 days. So what are you going to do to calculate again? You're not using 29 to calculate. I'm only just interpreting for you what they stand for. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you, sir.
You're not. Let's go back so that you understand. What I'm telling you that it's like somebody you have entered university now. You enter university. Let's take your university as the working capital. They are saying for you to start from 100 level and finish from 100 level to enter 200 level, it will take you 110 days. When you enter from 100 level to 200 level, it will take you 29 days to write your first semester. From first semester to do second semester, it will take 107 days. From second semester to go to third year, it will take you 93 days. So all those items, they have already calculated. They have calculated the number of days it's going to be taking. It's not for you to use to calculate it. We have already calculated now. I've calculated to arrive at 110 days, 29 days, 97 days, 93 days. Do you understand my point now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's move. So when you remove 88 days, you are saying for you to start your business, pay off your papers, and collect money for your business, it will take you 241 days. 329 days is your operating cycle when you have finished all your business. Now, if you remove the period you now spend to pay your payables, whatever remains before your cash cycle, so your cash on yearly basis, 241 days, all your cash for the business must have gotten it. That's what working capital cycle is telling us. So let's quickly go to the step that could be taken to reduce over trading and all those. Okay, we have talked about them before, but let's go through them again. I say steps that could be taken to reduce over trading or improve working capital. 1, reduction of raw material holding period. You can see when you are holding your raw material, cannot process fast. The raw material that stays for 110 days, that is too long. You should find a way to reduce it. So the purpose of all these things is just a guide. It's kind of like saying somebody is going, instead of spending 1 year in the 100 level, is now spending more than 1 year in the 100 level. So what is he doing? Why is he spending more than 1 year in the 100 level? So it's not supposed to be more than 1 year. So he helped you to give it back. That's what we're saying. For example, I can see what we say. For you to reduce your over trading or improve working capital, reduction of raw material holding period. Don't hold your raw material so that your raw material can quickly be processed and sold. Number 2, reduction of production days by speeding up and still ensuring quality. When you are producing, you have to reduce your production days. You have to reduce it But when they say reduce, it doesn't mean that you will not produce bad products. Those are people who say that they are reducing their time, do not drop quality, don't drop quality. The next one, reduction of finished goods days by increasing market outlet and improve advertisement. So you can say our finished goods day, we're also looking for a way to reduce the number of days. How do you reduce it? You increase the number of places you can sell your goods to. And you also improve your advertisement so that you're able to advertise, people will know you and buy your product quickly. The next one, reduction in debtor. Debtor is receivable. Debtor by giving reasonable cash discount. You know, when you sell goods to people and give them some incentive, say, anybody that can pay fast to get 2% discount, get 3% discount, people will be rushing to come and pay. So the number of days will be reduced. Why the creditor? You increase the creditor days by obtaining their consent or rejection discount. So for you to owe people more, you must also find a way to value them so that they will be happy. Otherwise, they will not want to sell for you next time. Don't rush to give people and pay creditor. When your own debtors is taking them a longer time to pay you. So these are some of the methods you can do to improve your working capital. But by and large, that calculation, please go and study very well. You may not know it today, go and sit down and settle it, practice it again. So when you don't understand it, please, in our subsequent lecture, throw it. And if I come to do, I promise that I will once come and do a physical lecture. When we are doing that revision, you can look at it. But it's very easy for you to understand. What working capital cycle is saying, or cash operating cycle, is just looking at all these are the key things that are involved in production. So they are also the one that determines your success, the success or failure of that business. If you don't manage your raw material well, you become a problem. Sometimes you keep raw material after a long time, they will get bad. So you cannot use them, the quality will drop. So you must manage it well. Your work in progress, you cannot start work in progress, stay there forever. Those things will also go bad. Finished goods, you must be able to sell your goods as quickly as possible. How many of us have gone to partake in this Black Friday? How many of us? Hello? Hello?
We are with you, sir.
I said, how many of us have gone to partake in this Black Friday? Have we had a Black Friday before?
Yes, on Jumia.
So why do they do it? Who can tell me?
To increase their sales, sir.
Is that the only reason? Is that the main reason?
And to give discount to customers.
No.
Yes.
And maybe some goods that are out of stock, they wanted to push them out.
To sell off their final goods for the remaining goods for the year.
No, they are trying to clear off old stock.
They are trying to clear off their old goods.
Okay, so it's only one person that have made a correct statement that they want to clear off their old goods.
Old stock.
Why are they clearing off their old goods? Can you finish it and tell me?
Because some of the old goods are maybe getting outdated with time, so they want to get them out and get some new stock.
Okay, so you can see that. But most people, you know, we don't understand it. You see us rushing. So there's a biscuit I used to buy. Sometimes when my friend traveled to UK, I'll say, buy me this biscuit, or buy it. So that biscuit is very expensive. If you are eating it, even if you eat a carton, you will not know, very nice. So that biscuit, sometimes they'll sell it that time, not even now, 5,000, 4,005, and so on and so forth. The last time they were doing all these sales, they were selling that biscuit for 1,000 plus. You know, people that doesn't understand, you know, they will rush it to buy. Say, it's very cheap now. You can imagine a biscuit that was produced in 2021. It will expire in 2024, maybe April. Are you getting it? It was produced in 2021. It will expire in April 2024. By May, 2024. You know the biscuit has already expired. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And May, you know the biscuit has expired. But it doesn't mean when something expires, you cannot eat it again. They're just telling you to be cautious. Oh. They are giving you a caution that, oh, this has expired. Oh. So in case anything happens, you cannot hold the company responsible.
Responsible.
So you see now, the biscuit now, because the people that bought it, the company, they know that they still have plenty cartons that people have not been able to buy because they were very expensive. They will not drop the price. Someone that doesn't know will buy a carton and carry it home. You still go and consume those biscuits. The company that produced have already said this thing will expire. It will not be too good for consumption by this day. So those are the reasons why you see that when they are doing Black Friday, most of us that doesn't know, you have to be very mindful about the consumable item, the one that go to your stomach directly. If it's television, if it's fridge, all those things, no problem. You can buy old stock, provided it can still cool your food. But when it comes to the one you eat directly, you have to be very careful. So that is part of the thing we are talking about. When we say your finished goods, why are you keeping them for too long? Why are you making your price to be too high? At the end of the day, you cannot even say that they'll become bad. Why not make a small profit? So that's why when you understand this thing very well, and you're in a position to advise tomorrow, be able to advise that, no, why are you putting 5,000? It's too expensive. How much gain do you want us to make? Oh, we are going to make it 2,000 naira gain. It's too high. Let's make 500. Quickly say then, we're going to buy again. Make another 500. Quickly say then, we're going to buy again. Or let's make 1,000 instead of 2,000 or 3,000 want us to make. So that is why the concept of that turnover. That's why you see some turnover will be very high because they quickly make more profit, go and buy again, make more profit, go and buy again, and so on and so forth. So that is that. So just go and settle down and look at it. If you still have issues after you have looked at it, you have discussed with yourself, please revert back. So any other thing we can say before we close? You know, we have spent more time now. We can do other things for today. Hello? Any question? Any question?
No, sir.
Okay, so I will send this material now as I'm dropping immediately. So
Thank you
take
so
care.
much, sir.
Bye-bye. Best of luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Thank
take
you,
care.
sir.
Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you,
Bye,
sir.
sir.
Okay, take care of yourself.
Always, sir. Bye, sir.
Bye-bye.